Welcome to Between the Pipes with your hosts Archie and Wade, coming to you live from Ontario, Canada. Let's go!
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Season 3 of Between the Pipes. We're back for another season. I've got Wade with me again. How's it going, Wade?
Things are beautiful. I can't think of a better thing I'd like to be doing at 7:30 on a Friday night. We're back, baby. Season 3 is started. It's upon us. We're ready to go, man. Archie, how have you been, bud?
Not too bad, not too bad. Lots going on in the offseason. A lot to look forward to, a lot of new faces on this team. We definitely have the itch. It feels like it's been forever since Tampa raised the cup for the second time, but I'm really excited to get things going and get the season underway. Preseason for the Leafs starts tomorrow against Montreal. Great way to start. We'll get to see a lot of these young faces, a lot of the Marlies players who have a crack at perhaps making the lineup, making a case for themselves for the future, for any injuries, roster fill-ins. What are you saying? What do you think? What's been the biggest shocker during the offseason for you?
Honestly, I still have to go back to this Jack Eichel thing that's going on. I mean, I know that you'll have a lot to say about it. I obviously do, and the whole hockey world does. I don't know what the hell is going on in Buffalo right now. So this guy wanted surgery, and apparently they don't want to do the surgery. They want to rehab it, and then all of a sudden Jack Eichel goes into training camp and he failed his physical. So the friggin' manager comes out and he says that we're stripping Jack Eichel of the captaincy from the Buffalo Sabres. I mean, he's only been captain there for what, like 2 years or something. Young guy, great superstar player for them. He's had his injury problems and I guess a little bit of turmoil going on in the dressing room and especially up in the management part of it and the doctors. And I don't know what's going on here, but what are you going to do? I mean, this is one of the star players of the league, and he's obviously not very happy with how things are going. And as far as their training staff and everything goes for that, I mean, if you're telling someone that they should do this, we've seen this happen before, guys. It's not the first time. You've had leagues all over the world. I mean, look at Kawhi Leonard, perfect example. I mean, we're Toronto. Kawhi Leonard helped bring us a 2019 championship for the city. But he left San Antonio Spurs because of the doctors and the healthcare and the management over there. And obviously, the staff didn't want to go through with some knee stuff. Same kind of situation with Jack Eichel. He's got some vertebrae or a disc or something in his neck or something. He wants to get fixed up. And he wants the surgery, but apparently they haven't done this surgery on an NHL player before, whereas NFL players and a couple of baseball guys have went through with the surgery and it was a success. That being said, guys, that's one of the biggest stories so far, and I don't really know how this is going to unfold. I mean, Jack Eichel, as of right now, did not pass the physical to play for Buffalo Sabres. Who the hell else does Buffalo have, Archie? Who do they really have going for them right now? They just signed Dahlin, and what did they sign Dahlin for? 3 friggin' years, $6 million average. Like, they're not locking down anyone to long term right now. Like, who the hell wants to stay in Buffalo? It's a fucking tire fire. I feel like this year is going to be even worse than last year. Like, they got nothing going on. Taylor Hall didn't re-sign. Jack Eichel's not in the picture. They let go of Ristolainen, which is one of their better guys. They've let go of one of their better goalies there. And the name's it's at the tip of my tongue. Do you have it? Buffalo's goalie, Ullmark. That's it.
Ullmark.
They let go of Ullmark. What the hell is this team doing? They are in a rebuild again, like full blown. If Jack Eichel does not play for this team, then that is the biggest issue in the NHL for this year. If he doesn't step on the ice for that first game, and let's say he goes into the surgery, listen, neck surgery is going to be a long process, a long recovery, a long rehabilitation process, man. And he'll be out the whole friggin' year. I guarantee it. Maybe if not the whole year, then Buffalo would like to have him back for playoffs. And let me just laugh at that because hey, newsflash, Buffalo is not fucking making playoffs without Jack Eichel in the lineup. So might as well just take the whole year off, which he basically had last year off too, but didn't go through with the surgery because the staff and team management didn't want to go through with it. I don't know what's going on here, Archie, but what are your thoughts on Jack Eichel failing the physical for training camp, and what's going on in Buffalo? What's going to unfold here in the next coming weeks?
So, I mean, failing the physical, I feel like was a given, right? Considering he missed a bunch of hockey last season. We knew surgery wasn't happening. They've delayed it. They've delayed his progress. They've pretty much screwed him out of any opportunity of getting picked up by another team. His trade value's definitely gone down because now anybody who takes a risk on him, you got to wonder, can he bounce back? When will he be back? When will he be ready? How long is the recovery? So what I gathered, I did some research on this procedure. So the team is willing to do a repair surgery, like a Band-Aid solution. However, his medical team and himself, they're looking at a disc replacement option. So obviously a lot more invasive, but he's looking at more of a permanent solution versus a Band-Aid fix that can end up causing him more injuries, more missed time down the line. So we called it last year, man. I feel like it's been a dumpster fire in Buffalo for I don't know how long. And they were supposed to be, like you said, in a rebuild. And I feel like they forgot the foundation of this building they're trying to build. And it's just falling apart again. So, yeah, you take Eichel out of the lineup, all the players you mentioned that are gone, I'm not sure what Buffalo's going to do. Taking the C away from him, I get it. He's not fit to play, but at the same time, it's like, man, how do you smack a guy in the face any more than that? You're not going to allow him to have the surgery he needs. You're not allowing him to be moved. He came out and said at this point he will go anywhere. He'll accept a trade anywhere. He's not even putting together a list just to get the fuck out of Buffalo and get his surgery done so he can focus on his future. So I don't know, man. He's young. He's got so much time ahead of him, but this is really putting a damper on things for him. And I'm not sure what Buffalo's plans are, but they're shooting themselves in the foot. You're not going to move him for a lot of value right now. There's going to have to be some sort of a contract along the lines of a trade with, plus based on performance. When does he come back? How does he do? How many goals will he score? So it's going to be an interesting deal for whoever does end up landing him if he goes anywhere. But I don't know, man. I'm really not sure what's going on in Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know what the future beholds for this team, for this franchise. I mean, they're already having trouble like bringing fans into the building here, and they are on the cusp of being like, they've been talked about folding Buffalo, for the last few years too, just because of the spot that they're in and their arena and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, I just don't know what to say anymore about Buffalo. This is crazy. This is, you know what? And like me and Archie, we love a good Leaf and Buffalo rivalry. It's so fun to go 2 hours across the border to go watch a game in Buffalo, or for Buffalo fans to come over, watch a game at Scotiabank. It's always electric. Mind you, there's always more Leaf fans than Buffalo fans. That's just the way it is, because here in Canada, guys, the prices are fucking skyrocketed through everything. And it's always been a little bit more expensive. Obviously, the dollar here is a little shittier than the American dollar. So that's what we have to deal with. And that's why Buffalo games are great, because, for $100, you got good seats and you have a few beers and you're having a good time. Whereas that's about $250 or $300 here. So anyways, we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. And we'll pay attention closely to the Jack Eichel thing that's going on right now. So I'd like to see him happy, because I love seeing superstars do well in the league. Every superstar deserves to be on a good team that's at least going to give them a chance to be in the playoffs and go for a Stanley Cup. Buffalo looks like they're nowhere near that. And I don't know if this is one of the great American players and up-and-coming American players. He's already solidified himself as a superstar in the league. I mean, by a short margin. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of Jack Eichel, but we know what he's capable of. We've seen We've seen his skill set, and we've seen what he can do with his shot when he gets it off, and he has players he's playing with. That's all I got to say about Jack Eichel, Archie. Is there anything else quickly you want to go through? Because I got one thing going through my mind. Unless you have a topic quickly to throw in, but I got a Evander Kane in my mind, buddy. What the hell is going on? I'm gonna let you carry this one around, buddy. What's going on with Evander Kane? What's going on with his wife? What's going on with the teammates talking shit behind his back? He's a brother. What's going on?
All right. Just before we get to that, we had a comment from one of our viewers, Jennifer here. She says he should sue. Not letting him have it is criminal. It's funny that you mentioned this because I am curious to know. The NHLPA is essentially the union. They are the union representatives for the players. I am curious, unless the whole thing is that Buffalo protects themselves by saying, hey, we're giving him an option. It's not the option he wants, but it is still an option to allow him to play. So I think as long as they provide him with some sort of a solution, they're kind of washing their hands. I don't know. But I'd be curious to know what's in a player's contract when it comes to surgery. Does the player even have any say? From the sounds of it, he doesn't. From the sounds of it, the team that owns you gets the final say on it, which as a player, I guess all you can do is hold out and not play. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see how this is all going to pan out. Evander Kane. So it all started off as his wife making accusations of him throwing games, essentially, betting on hockey games, including his own, and playing, in essence, in a way that he was impacting the outcome of the game. Not sure how much Evander Kane is gonna,
impact the outcome of a fucking hockey game. Yeah,
impact the outcome of a hockey game. He might skate slower, not hit the net on his shots, take stupid penalties. I don't know. You get benched for shit like that, but after all that, on top of that, his fatherhood and parenting gets thrown into it. That he's been a horrible dad to his kid, and that he's just not there. He's not present as a father, and all kinds of shit. She threw all sorts out on social media. So I think yesterday, the NHL concluded that there was no substantial evidence of him gambling on or throwing any NHL games in which he participated in. Although he did come out and admit that he has a gambling addiction. Again, NHL concluded that there wasn't enough, not enough to nail him for gambling or throwing games. However, in that same breath, not even an hour later, another statement was released that he will, however, not play while further investigations on other allegations are basically being investigated. Now, I don't think these are NHL investigations. I think this is a team suspension pending the outcome of whatever these other allegations are, which I believe are tied to his personal life, his family, his home, or whatever else might have come out. So you'd almost think Evander Kane belongs in Buffalo. A dumpster fire team, dumpster fire player. Like,
he was there before, Archie.
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, in the dressing room, they don't really want something like that in there. And the players have come out and made statements like, I don't know if this is if it's total facts or whatever, but apparently there's players that have come out and made statements, and they were basically saying that, we don't want Evander Kane back on the San Jose Sharks, blah, 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 too much media attention, too much stuff. His character isn't right for the San Jose Sharks dressing room, this and that. And basically you kind of want to avoid any type of, conflict or anything, like, especially when it comes to outside of the hockey game, right? That being said, it's Evander Kane, and I mean, everyone knows he's been flashy for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, this guy was outside with, I don't know, a couple $1,000 in his, a few, maybe like 50 grand or 100 grand in his hands, posing outside a casino or a hotel or something like that. And apparently he showed up to practice in his damn tracksuit set and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not sure how far it goes in other things, but I mean, the professionality of it and how he carries himself, who knows who's going to want this guy. And if strip clubs and casinos and going out with the boys and gambling is part of his thing, I mean, the dude went bankrupt. He filed bankruptcy. He's got his wife against him. He's got his team against him. I just don't really understand what the hell he's going to do at this point. I mean, the sad thing is, Evander Kane is a great hockey player. And let me just put this out there because you mentioned it. You can't throw a game being an individual player on a 26-man roster team. Yeah. You just can't. I'm sorry. Like, what's he going to do? Like you said, go out, miss the net, miss some shots. Okay. That being said, here's where that doesn't hold water at all. Evander Kane had one of his best point productive seasons last year, like for San Jose. I mean, he didn't play as many games as he usually does, but when he did play, he was effective. And he had a great time. He had a great friggin' year. He had a great game. He had points when he was playing. So that being said, how are you throwing away games if your production is skyrocketing and elevating better than any other season that you've had? I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but like I said, only time will tell, man. This is the kind of stuff that you talk about at the end of summer, coming into training camp. This is why we're talking about it now. You have all these little things. Jack Eichel not being ready didn't pass his physical test. Evander Kane probably not going back to the San Jose Sharks. Now he's gonna get traded or bought out. Who the hell knows? I don't know what's going on. And that's the fun of the beginning of the season training camps, man. But you did mention Leafs and Canadiens. Here we go. The two teams met in the playoffs. Leafs up 3-1 series lead. Canadiens come back to beat them 4-3. Sorry, Archie, that I had to remind you. I know we've reminded each other in our minds all summer long, trying to forget it. Depression. Just, oh, God. Being a Leafs fan is just, it's almost the worst, guys. And I know that there's way worse teams, and they're like, oh, you guys still have Matthews and Marner and Nylander and Tavares. Why are you crying for? It has been 54 years now, Archie, and this would be the 55th year. So that's why we cry. That's why we're upset. That's why we're frustrated. And you're going to have to deal with that. And all season long, we're going to have to talk about the Leafs because we are a little bit biased with the Leafs. Me and Archie are huge Leafs fans. What do you think about the Leafs roster? What do you think about Richie? What do you think about Bunting? What do you think about Nick Robertson in training camp? Lighten up the lamp. And what do you think about Peter Mrazek coming in with Jack Campbell and potentially kind of splitting goalie duties at this point? I don't know.
Covered a lot there. Okay, so before we move forward.
Sorry, Archie. Excited. We're back, baby.
And I am too. But hang on. Before we move forward, we're just going to backpedal.
Yes. Slow me down, baby. Slow me down.
We're going to backpedal just a little bit back to Evander Kane. So Jennifer commented again what you mentioned as well. A bunch of teammates refused to play with him. And she also said, I don't believe it was throwing games they were looking into betting based on inside knowledge of injuries. His wife came out and fully said he was throwing his own games, which was crazy that she said that. But yes, you are right. He was also apparently betting based on knowledge of insider information like that. Now, I just pulled up the article online, and it does say that the San Jose Sharks are aware of additional allegations that are unrelated to the NHL's initial investigation. They are basically taking these allegations very seriously and have been in communication with the NHL. The league will continue to have full cooperation regarding the ongoing investigation. So whatever else has happened, they're still investigating. I don't see him playing as a Shark again. Because even if he come back, like you said, who's going to want to play with the guy? He's tainted and put this dark cloud over the team. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It's quite the bit to deal with. And you're right. There was that picture on social media a few years ago, I think, of him holding a stack of money as a cell phone to his face while he's on a balcony in Vegas.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. You should know better. It's social media. Everybody's watching. Everybody's got their eyes on you. You're going to pull stupid shit like that. People are going to start to realize what's going on. And
That's not what NHL players do. That's what NFL players do. Come on, guys. This ain't foosball. This is stick and puck. This is hockey. This is professionality at its finest. Do you not see how NHL players dress to the games? It ain't casual, I'll tell you that much. It is it's suits, ties, you name it. Basketball, NFL, these guys walk in with whatever they want, whatever they feel comfortable with. They like to show what kind of style they're into, you know what I mean, and advertise all that kind of stuff. Whereas NHL players maybe get to wear like a cool like top hat or something with a tie to be like, oh yeah, you know, going back old school to like the early 1900s, stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, Evander Kane, we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna lie, as much as he's a bit of a cancer on the team, I wouldn't mind him in a Leaf jersey. I'm just throwing it out there. Throw him on a second line, go into a corner, score a couple goals, fight Ryan Reeves once in a while, get the building heated up. Let's go.
All right. And then, so we'll talk about the Leafs because I know as everybody knows, we're biased. I mean, they can tell by our apparel, your background, your wall there. Everybody knows we're Psycho Leaf fans. Another player that I'm curious, Jonathan Toews.
I'm so happy you brought that up.
So we knew he was out all last season with whatever it was. I feel like they chose a very fancy word for depression and anxiety. Caused him to miss an entire season in the NHL. He's now saying he is hopeful to return for opening night this season. That's his goal. Now, Colorado starts their season October 13th, just under a month away. How do you think Toews bounced back after missing an entire season, after all the speculation? Because you just know, if I'm a news reporter, the second Jonathan Toews becomes available to the media, outside of how are you feeling, the next question is going to be asked, what do you think of the whole situation with the police getting involved, with the team being under the gun after all those allegations with the video coach and the two players that came out saying they were sexually assaulted? Jonathan Toews is going to have to answer that bell. It's going to be rung. I'm telling you now, they're going to come out and say something. And the expectation is that as the captain, he's going to have to say something.
Absolutely.
Is that going to put more pressure on him? What do you think?
Well, exactly what you just said there, Archie. I think that, you know, you wear the C for a reason. He's been around a long time. Jonathan Toews is not your 25-year-old captain. This guy's like 30, 33 now or whatever. He's been around the merry-go-round with the Chicago News and TV reporters and the NHL for a long time. He knows he's very professional. What he says is very truthful. He's a very honest and humble kind of captain, and he's got that kind of old man kind of way about going about things. You know what I mean? And even Patrick Kane's come out and said, you know, like, I'm here just to have like fun. And then, you know, Jonathan's Mr. Serious. He is Mr. Serious. Obviously, he took time away from the game. And you know what, Archie? I just want to say that is a huge weight lifted off every fan, every player in the NHL's shoulders. I mean, there was obviously guys in the NHL that knew what he was going through, but they left it very friggin' blank for fans and the media about what he was going through. You heard different things, like he had some kind of disease. You heard that he had what's the other one there that Brian Bickle had or whatever. My goodness, ALS.
Yes.
So So anyways, people were saying that, oh my God, they think he has ALS, this and that. I'm just happy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mental health is just as big a monster as physical health and stuff like that. But I am glad that it's not something that's really going to take him. Like, he can work on himself. He can get some therapy, talk to a couple doctors, you know, get that going for himself and get back to normal and get his head back in the right headspace, essentially. And but yeah, I'm thrilled to know that he's not going through something where, you know, it's a long term or whatever, right? So The way that he's going to bounce back, I'm not sure. Here's the thing about Jonathan Toews. Before he took this leave, he was playing outstanding hockey. Like, he came back because I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple of years ago, and even I would say there was about a 2-year span, maybe from like 31 and 32 or something. It was definitely around the age of that. There was 2 years where everyone kind of counted Jonathan Toews out. They said, this guy doesn't look the same. The foot speed isn't there. His hands are lacking. His shot's lacking. Doesn't look like he's captaining the team in the right direction right now. Blah, 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 blah. He looked like your mediocre kind of captain that's kind of aging and starting to fade away from being a superstar, which Jonathan Toews has always been. And then kick back to before he took this leave. Holy shit, Jonathan Toews looked great again, putting up huge points, scoring big goals, chemistry with Patty Kane again, playing good friggin' hockey. And like he was rejuvenated, he was re-energized. And then boom, all of a sudden, something's going on. He takes a leave, he's not showing up, and then we were left in the clouds for however long. I think Jonathan Toews has the full capability to bounce back. I don't think he's going to be the Jonathan Toews of like 27, 28 years old, but I think Jonathan Toews can still make a huge impact on a hockey team, especially with the C. And I think he's good for, I think Jonathan Toews is still good for 55, 60 points, to be totally honest, in an 82-game season. And that's good. What more can you ask for from a 32-year-old or 33-year-old? He's getting up there, guys. He's not young. He's hopefully he bounces back. I really do hope he bounces back because I do like what Chicago Blackhawks have done in their system. Their pipeline stayed hot. They brought in a lot of players. They've made some trades. And we've said this before, Archie. I like what Chicago's essentially done with the Nylanders and the Dylan Stromes, the Brinkats, and a couple of the other young guys that they got there, man. So we'll see what happens. And geez, it would be nice to have Captain Toews back. And he is a pleasure to watch when he's doing his thing on the ice. That's for sure. Captain can't hey, next to Sidney Crosby, everyone kind of said Jonathan Toews was Captain Canada too, man. He was one of the best players, I think, in that it was either 2010 or 2014 for that Olympic gold. He was one of the best players for the Team Canada, and we'll never forget that. So good luck, Jonathan Toews. I hope he bounces back in a huge way. What do you think, Archie? Do you think that this guy's going to bounce back and be Jonathan Toews-esque, or do you think he's maybe fading away a little bit? I don't know.
From a skill level and a player type level, I think he's one of those players that I don't see him losing that skill level. I think he'll bounce back no problem when he's back on the ice with his teammates. I'm just curious to see how it all goes with that whole investigation, to be honest, because it really blew up over the summer and now it kind of simmered down a little bit.
Yeah.
And once the media gets access to him again, because he's kind of been MIA for the whole year, I feel like it'll rehash some things and things will come back out. But as a player, I think there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to bounce back. I mean, you're playing with Patty Kane still, and we've said this many times. A player may lose his speed, but he doesn't lose his touch. He doesn't lose his hands. He doesn't lose his skill. So, yeah. I mean, if Patrick Marleau's still playing hockey, Joe Thornton's still playing hockey, I have no reason to believe that Jonathan Toews can come back and just keep playing hockey the way he was prior to. So good to see him coming back. Best news for Chicago fans, that's for sure, to have him back out there on the ice. And speaking of great news, some more great news for NHL fans in general. The NHL heading back to the Olympics. Forgot about this one. Per the new CBA, 2022, 2026, we are guaranteed, so far at least, 2 Olympic Games. Nothing is more exciting than watching the Olympics. I mean, it is kind of lopsided in some aspects, with Canada and USA just having dominated over the years. However, as we've spoke about in the past, we have seen other teams in Europe advance, build. They've put more money into their programs. Keep in mind, though, that this was all happening without our NHLers there. Now we've got our NHLers there. and this is exciting times. So, real quick, how do you feel about them going back to the Olympics? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What are you looking forward
Are
to?
you kidding me? Oh my God. Thank goodness. I love the Olympics with NHL players in them. You're talking about the best of the best in the world playing against each other for an Olympic gold medal. Like, let's get real here. That's what the Olympics are about. It's about the best players in your country competing for a gold medal to prove that they are the best in the world, okay? That last Olympics, man, don't get me wrong. I watched the Canada games and everything, and it was interesting to see some of the names that were there. There was some ex-NHL players and stuff like that, guys playing from overseas. But my goodness, when you get the elite of the superstars and you throw them into one planet, and they're all representing different teams, come on, like that is the greatest friggin' shit that you could watch when it comes to hockey fans, with exception to like Stanley Cup finals if your team's in it, for sure. You know what I mean? Olympics are Olympics. Canada, like you said, Archie, there is so many good players right now from each country. Like, it is incredible the amount of skill level that each country can bring to the Olympics. Like, Sweden is scary. Finland is scary. Canada is hella scary. USA, hella scary. Russia, always right there. You know what I mean? It usually is typically those 5-6 teams that are always kind of up there doing the working the magic and everything. Like Czech Republic's there too, but I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Czech Republican players recently come into the NHL and like make a big name. But I mean, let me just throw a couple names at you right now for our listeners, for people that haven't thought about the Olympics and what it means, especially for Canadians. But you're talking about Crosby, you're talking about McKinnon and McDavid, all playing on the same bloody team. Bergeron, Marchand, Huberdeau. You're talking about some of the best. Even Mitch Marner's up there. Like, Tavares would probably play like a fourth line if he makes the team. Stamkos, Braden Point. Some of the players, exceptional players, man. It's the best in the world. Team USA, Austin Matthews, Jack Eichel, if Jack Eichel's healthy by then, I don't know what the hell is going to happen, right? You got Patrick Kane. You just got a ton of friggin' guys there too, right? I mean, USA talent is right there. I'm very excited, man. I'm very excited. I'm so happy that we went back to this and Gary Bettman didn't friggin' put his foot in our throat one more time and stomp on our head and say, no, NHL players are not going to the Olympics. This is a big deal, and I can't even wait to start wearing the red and the white and the black and start representing Team Canada, man, and see what these rosters and these lines look like. And obviously, being a Canadian citizen and a fan of the hockey team, go Canada, go, for when that shit unfolds and happens, man, I can't even wait. But like I said, I love national hockey, like national type of hockey where it comes to where it's countries going against each other. That is, next to the NHL, that is the best type of hockey you can watch. So excited. How about you, Arch?
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. And they do have one, minor details to iron out. They have to come out with some sort of an opt-out clause that gives the NHL and the NHLPA the chance to pull out of the Olympics in the event that COVID gets out of hand again and something crazy were to happen. Because, of course, they got to look after the health and safety of the players as well. What things are going to look like is interesting, though. So the NHL is scheduled to take a break from the Olympics from Thursday, February 3rd through to Tuesday, February 22nd, which is also All-Star Weekend in Vegas.
Okay.
February 4th and 5th was going to happen either way, with or without the Olympics. So you've got All-Star Weekend, is first. So All-Star Weekend is February 4th and 5th.
Okay.
Players that are going to the Olympics will leave All-Star Weekend and head to their respective countries or wherever. Beijing, I guess, in this case, to prepare for the 2022 Winter Olympics. So there's going to be no NHL until February 22nd. However, we'll be blessed with watching some amazing international hockey.
Yeah.
From there, once the tournament's over, of course, as teams get eliminated, they'll fly back to their respective teams. If there's any quarantines in place, whatever the case may be, I would assume there probably will be. They'll have that time, unless, of course, their teams make it to the finals, in which those players will be there right to the end of the tournament.
Yeah.
Looking back at what you mentioned, the importance of this international hockey. So the last time NHL players were part of the majority rosters in international play was the World Cup of Hockey in 2016, which just so happened to be in Toronto.
Yes.
And
we remember.
And at that point, we got to see Team North America, not Team Canada, USA. That was Team North America. Now you had McDavid, Matthews, Crosby. It was just stupid.
Yeah.
And it was somewhat of a preseason event that we got to see, and it was unreal. Canada ended up winning the World Cup that year, which was just perfect considering it was happening here, and had also won the previous Olympic tournaments in Vancouver in 2010 and in Sochi in 2014. So this is a long time coming where we haven't been able to see this at the Olympic level. So for guys like Sidney Crosby, this may very well be his last dance with Team Canada.
100%, Archie. 100%.
And I mean, Sidney Crosby is the golden boy. Like he put Canada on the map with that crazy goal he scored. Made shockwaves around the world when he scored that goal. So to see him
shout out Jerome McGinley.
Yeah, Jerome McGinley.
For that pass, baby. That pass was right on the tape, right in the friggin' fire zone, buddy. Boom. So, oh man, I love that. I love rewatching that friggin' moment, man. Unreal.
Exactly. It's one of those, you can call it a heritage moment in Canada. So I mean, it's a pretty big deal to be able to have him participate in most likely his last one. And I can't see Canada giving him the snub. You can't.
Yeah.
You gotta have Crosby there. Just like Russia's got to have Ovechkin there. Like there's no way they're gonna miss out on this opportunity, right? These are players that are probably not going to be around for the 2026, or maybe not be eligible for the 2026 Olympics when that comes to.
There's no way they're all going to be 40 years. Some of these guys will be 40 years old. So there's going to be young talent that's going to be taking over that. So and I don't, and by all means, I do not mind handing down the first and second line centers to McDavid and McKinnon. Just saying.
Absolutely. So now, as for qualifications for the 22 Olympics, basically it's 9 teams qualify for the tournament in the initial round. You've got Denmark, Slovakia, and Latvia who qualified in a round of qualification games that they played late in August. China, the host nation. China. We're going to see China in
very interesting.
This is interesting. It'll be very interesting to see how that works.
Yeah.
So as a result, there are 3 pools, 3 groups. So you got Group A, Canada, USA, Germany, China. I wonder who the top 2 teams in that group are going to be.
Yeah.
Group B, you've got Russia, Czech Republic, Switzerland, Denmark. And then Group C is a tricky one. You got Finland, Sweden, Slovakia, and Latvia.
Okay.
Group C is an interesting group, but I feel like, and they've also got the teams ranked. So Canada's ranked number 1. Number 2 is Russia currently.
Really?
Yep. 3 is Finland. 4 Sweden. 5 Czech Republic, and then 6 USA. So the US is kind of down there, but given the group they're in, one can only assume Canada, US are coming out of that group.
Yeah.
But we've seen crazy things happen. Who knows, right?
Yeah, you never know, man. It's in 60 minutes of hockey, anything can friggin' happen. I'm telling you that much.
Absolutely. So now that we got all that out of the way, let's talk about everybody's favorite topic in Canada. I don't care what other teams in the NHL. I was not one of those Leaf fans cheering for Montreal. No, sir. No, sir.
No.
The boys are back. They're back on the ice. I haven't really seen too much of what's been going on in the rookie tournaments and what's been happening I did see a few highlights of their sprints back and forth. I even saw them at Edmonton, and McDavid looked like he was overlapping some of his teammates in the sprints, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous. But I am excited. So you mentioned a few players you were mentioning. So let's recap here. Bunting. I have some expectations out of him. I feel like he's that Jonathan Tavares story. Hometown kid coming to play for Toronto, cheer for the Leafs as a kid, and the expectations, I didn't see much of him. But
Yeah.
he's kind of set the bar high on himself. So it'll be very interesting to see how he pans out with this team. I'm excited to see it. Nick Richie, great addition. Can't wait to see him on the ice. Along with him, we got what's his name? That other player from Boston.
Case,
however you pronounce it.
Case, yeah.
I only know his name because he was a Leaf killer when we played against him. He always was that thorn in our side. So I hope he continues to play that role. It'll be great to see him in that role. I'm really excited about Curtis Gabriel.
I was just gonna fucking say, what do you think about Gabriel?
So Curtis Gabriel comes in. I don't know if you've been watching. He's big on social media because of all the things he supports, all the outside of hockey stuff that he does. But he's not shy to talk about his food regimen, how he eats, his training, what he's looking forward to the most. And dude, I think the very first time on the ice with the Leafs, he came back looking all roughed up. And in his first, on ice drills, he got into a little bit of a scuffle with Wayne Simmons, dude. So
what?
The guy brings passion already. He's out the gate. He said, you know what? We're all fighting for roster spots here. We're fighting for those positions. Shit goes down. You got to drop them and you go. And then at the end of the practice, you tap each other on the shins. You're buddies again. I loved hearing that. I loved it. So I think Curtis Gabriel is going to bring a lot of edge that the Leafs don't have. I think he's going to be a pain in the ass to play against, man. I'm really excited to see this kid play. I know you want to say something. Let's hear it.
Oh, yeah. You know me, buddy. You know me. I'm just waiting to fucking jump right into this one. So I just think of it this way, okay? I just think of it this way. I know that there's some roster spots open, but I think about the lines. And I just think about how, okay, Dubas came and he said, you know what? We don't need to bring the older guys and the vet guys, the leadership guys, because we have that. We've made the foundation with Matthews, with Marner, Nylander. These guys are growing up enough to be leaders now. They're almost all mid-20s or so, right? They're fucking young adults in the league. It's a young man's game anyway, right? So that being said, I just think about the lines, Archie. I think, what if you throw Richie on the first line or Bunting? Second line, Richie or Bunting. Third line, you throw Wayne Simmons. And then fourth line, you throw Curtis Gabriel. And you just have this fucking mix of every line having a guy that's a bit of a pest, that's going to try hard every shift, that's going to get under the skin of every opponent, and that can drop the gloves. Like, you know what I mean? I just think that's such a good thing, and that's what the Leafs kind of need. They need that heart and soul guy. They need the guy that's willing to do the dirty work, essentially, right? And I like Curtis Gabriel. I do like Curtis Gabriel a lot, man. I remember watching him last year in warm-ups, not even when the game starts, and he's got the old slap shot Chiefs friggin' jersey on, skating the fucking red line with the other team and like literally bumping guys and like eyeing guys down, and then he'll talk to them before puck drop and be like, oh yeah, they're just chirping each other and they're just going, oh yeah, I think I could mess you up pretty bad tonight, blah, blah, I'll fight you, I'll knock your teeth out. I love that. I think the Leafs need that. We need a spark like that. And Wayne Simmons brings it, but we left Wayne Simmons all alone with that fucking last year, and that's not fair to Wayne. I didn't want Wayne to have to go out whenever something happened and have to drop the gloves, because Wayne isn't just a fighter. Wayne is a great player, man. The guy's got fucking hands. He's got speed. He goes to the front of the net. He tips the puck well. He has really good hand-eye, and he scores you goals, and he'll fight if he has to. But we need other guys that can step up into those roles and do that, and that's what we have with this battle with Gabriel. And then you have Michael Bunting, who's a Scarborough guy. My friends that are on my hockey team currently played against Bunting. They told me, this is before Bunting even came out and started talking about himself and what he thinks he brings to the game as a player. And my friends were telling me, yo, he's an asshole. Or like, we hate him. Like, he's an asshole to play against. And he came out in Leafs media, answered a few questions and said, well, listen, I like to be a pest out there. I like to get under the opponent's skin. I like to stir it up a bit. I like to finish my hits. I like to get into the net, into the goalie's face. Toronto needs guys like that. We've been waiting for fucking guys like that. We got that. Richie's just a big guy too. And I like Richie. He's going to be a big guy. I think he's like 6'2" or 6'3", like 230 or whatever the hell he is. And I know he's a big boy. And he can throw down if he needs to, but he's going to go to the corners. He's going to go to the front of the net. He's going to make a pass to Austin Matthews because I'm pretty sure he's going to play front. He's either going to play top line or second line 100%. But regardless, the Leafs, like the last 3 years, have had two first lines. You have the Tavares and Nylander line, and you have the Matthews and Marner lines. So that being said, you throw Richie, Bunting on those lines. I can't even wait. I think that those acquisitions are great. I think that it's good for the boys. I think that it shows that Dubas and Shanahan believe in our young guns. Not young anymore, but we believe in our leadership group and we believe in what we've built. So the players take that upon themselves now, and now we get all hyped up, Archie, don't we? Oh, this is great. This is the year. This is when it's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we can't help it as Leafs fans, but we're really looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward to it. And I saw recently there was some news dropped, Archie. I'm sure that you read it too, but apparently after the loss last year, John Tavares invited the whole team basically up to his cottage for like a weekend getaway so that they could go up there, relax, and really like bond and be truthful with each other and talk about what they need to build on and what happened and how to fix it and solutions and this and that. And I really like that. The captain took his team up to the cottage and they probably had a few drinks and laid it all out around a campfire and told each other this, told each other that. And that's bonding. That builds friendships, brotherhood, everything, family. And that's what the Leafs are. That's what the Leafs need. And like I said, as a stupid Leaf fan and a believer, once again, I hope that they win a Stanley Cup this year. Oh, God, I hate it. I thought it was the last year. I thought it was the year before. And damn, I think it's this year again. But whatever. You know what? You can't fix a Leafs fan's stupidity. We're always going to fucking think that our team is going to win the cup. And my God, I will flaunt my Leafs jersey and my hats, and I will talk on the podcast about them being great. But before I let Archie take over here, I just want to say that I do know that I will never get my hopes up during the regular season with this squad again, like I have in previous years. I will wait. Okay? I will wait for the playoffs to come around and see what the outcome of the playoffs is. And that's what I'm really looking forward to, because the regular season, I've been so hype and up and had some high expectations and hope the last few years, and literally it makes it even worse. It's like getting shot right in the friggin' heart. You know what I mean? So that being said, Archie, that's my spiel on the Leafs about just the excitement around what I feel about them right now. What do you think is happening now? You mentioned Curtis Gabriel. You mentioned Wayne Simmons, a little bit of a fight for a roster spot, kind of showing each other up. I love that. I love how they're coming together and they're competing against each other for a roster spot and showing them who's boss and the passion that the Leafs need. What else is there in the Leafs land? Archie, you know a lot about the friggin' Maple Leafs, buddy. Let's spill it out here. What's going on?
All right, so you mentioned the possible line combination. So you pretty much nailed them bang on. So the projected combinations through several websites right now is suggesting top line, Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, Nick Richie. Your second line, Willie Nylander, John Tavares, Michael Bunting. You nailed those two on the head. Third and fourth line is where things could change, right? So right now we've got Mikheyev, Kerfoot, and Case. Mikheyev asked to be traded at the end of the season last year.
Yes,
The
he
Leafs
did.
denied that request because they said he fits into their plans moving forward on a higher capacity. Obviously, the kid wants to play. We saw him start really well for Toronto, impressed a lot of people, turned a lot of heads, and then he kind of disappeared after his injury. Never really bounced back. So it'll be interesting to see if he's one of those people fighting for a roster spot or if he becomes a casualty of being traded. Then you got your fourth line, Wayne Simmons, Jason Spezza, and I forgot about this guy, David Kemp. So they picked him up too, which leaves no room for Curtis Gabriel as of right now based on these projected lineups. However, he's definitely the Leafs didn't sign the guy for a year to play for the Marlies. There's no way. So I can see them bringing him into the mix. Now, we also got to keep in mind, we may or may not be without, I'm going to say we will be without Austin Matthews for a little bit at the beginning of the season, just to play it safe. How that kind of impacts the roster, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, man. Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with filling
You
that.
too, buddy.
If they move, do they move Tavares up and kind of bounce everybody up a spot and try someone else at a fourth line center position? I don't know. But another thing that I admire about Gabriel is they asked him who his two favorite players were growing up, and I loved his answer.
Did he not say like Darcy Tucker or something?
Darcy Tucker and Wendell Clark, dude.
Sweet. That's the greatest.
Tells you a lot about the kind of player he is.
I love that. I love that as much as you love that, Arch.
Yep. Newmarket boy. He's only 28 years old. The kid is here to make some noise, and I love it. I really hope we get to see a lot of him this season. It'd be great to see, the return of the Bay Street Bullies. Like, to have another team that we used to have where people used to be afraid of the Leafs because they led the league in fighting majors. I want that so bad. Not necessarily leading in majors, but lay down enough that people are not going to want to start shit.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And
saying you want to, hey, Archie, you're saying you want to be like the Trashers, eh?
Yeah, the Trashers, exactly. Hey, it worked for them for a bit.
Holy fuck.
Want to be that intimidating team that nobody likes to play against. That team that people are like,
intimidated. Yeah. Intimidation.
Like, on a back-to-back night, you don't want that second game to be against the Leafs because you're going to be beat up from the game before. So that's what I hope we get to see out of this team. Then we look at our defensive pairings. We've got Morgan Rielly, TJ Brody, Jake Muzzin, Justin Hall, and Rasmus Sandin and Travis Dermott. Those are your likely top six.
Yeah.
I have no problems with that. We'll see how that kind of works out with Rielly hopefully having a better year this year. And then in net, we've got the battle between Jack Campbell and Peter Mrazek, who was another great pickup for the Leafs, I think. I mean, there were some better goalie options out there, but financially, none of them would have possibly worked for the Leafs without having to give a lot up. So it'll be... I'm not sure the Leafs have a 100% starter in Jack Campbell. I love the guy. Don't get me wrong. I do think he can do it. No problem. But it's comforting to know that you've got Peter Mrazek with experience, including playoff experience beyond the first round, to come in and kind of compete. Healthy competition is a good thing, especially for goalies, where you're going to compete with each other to be better than one another and want that starting shot. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Leafs kind of start things off kind of going 50-50 with their goalies until they find the hot hand, which could go either way, really. Jack is definitely the guy the change room loves, obviously for many obvious reasons. And it continues this season, I'm sure. So I'm excited. I'm excited about the team. Very much like you, I am going to say, who am I kidding? I'm probably lying to myself when I say this. I'm going to try not to get excited right off the hop, right out the gate. But I mean, if the Leafs come out scoring and just dummying teams and dominating games and winning games right off the hop, you can't help but get excited because now we're back to regular divisions. No more North Division, none of that shit. We're back to normal alignment. So I want to see the Leafs kick some ass. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear easy division bullshit. the Leafs go back into that tough division they've always been a part of, and I'm really excited to see what this team has to offer, what they're going to put down. We've seen a great team put on paper that just didn't so much translate to the physical game that we saw. But yeah, of course the Leafs are going to win the Cup this year. Who else? Come on.
And just adding on to that, Archie, don't forget too that, hey, we just heard news. Capacity limit now for the Scotiabank starting at 10,000 guys. Leafs didn't have capacity, was zero. It was your coaching staff last year. That's all you had, man. So that brings in a little bit of a wild factor for how the Leafs can perform in front of fans again, because it's been a year and a half since they've had that, right?
Yep.
And I think that makes it more exciting to have fans in the building, to have Torontonians, local Torontonians screaming and yelling. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that fact. And like you were just saying, Arch, it would be good to intimidate teams. And I like the acquisitions we brought in. And if we could even just do that a little bit, just a step forward from that atrocious Game 7 that we had against Montreal, where we looked unfocused and looked like we were out, and we were a bunch of scaredy cats. Like, that's what it looked like. And I'm trying to be as politically correct and all that kind of stuff when I say that, but they were a bunch of little bitches. Let's just put it out there. I can't believe there was no face washes. There was no scrums at the end. This is a Game 7. This is to move on to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. One of the easiest routes you've ever had in Leafs history to get to a semifinal anyway, and then to a Stanley Cup final. And you weren't even doing anything to the opposition to get under their skin. A little face wash here and there. Hey, give a guy a little jab. Let him know that you're there. There was none of that. It was like we were just a bunch of friggin', oh God. There's lots of words I want to say right now, but I'm gonna leave them out because I don't want to sound too friggin' harsh and get in trouble. But yeah, they just didn't have it. And guys like Richie and Bunting and Jesus, I'm already messing up. Curtis Gabriel. Guys like Curtis Gabriel and Bunting and these guys are types of dudes that are going to get into the opposition's face. They're going to get them angry. They're going to get them penalties. We're going to take penalties, but they'll retaliate. That's the way it goes. And there's going to be some more fights. I just hope there's more fireworks for the Leafs this year. Just a little bit of fireworks. Give me a friggin' air bomb or a pocket rocket, something. I want to see a little bit of a spark. I don't want to see this, la la la, go around the ice, pass, don't finish your check. It's okay. You poke check them and you miss this time. You'll do a circle around. You'll get them next time. He's going to beat me to the puck, so I'm going to ease up and glide in now. I'm not going to go in full force and try to fucking win a puck battle, because that's kind of what it seemed like last year in the playoffs for the Leafs. I hope that these guys really bring it this year, and we're sitting here, Archie, and we're talking about these acquisitions. It starts with our fucking core group. I really hope that I see a little bit of more emotion from Mitch Marner. And not that crybaby, fucking sassy little bitch emotion. I'm talking emotion like I wouldn't mind seeing Marner break his fucking stick over a post or something if the Leafs get scored on. Or holding accountability after a game saying, man, I played like shit tonight. I was horrible. I want to see that emotion. I want to see these guys get fucking angry. I want to see them be adults where they're playing a hockey game and emotions are high. And I don't want their emotions to get the best of them, where they take a stupid penalty or it messes up their psyche so much that they're not playing their type of game. But I do want to see some fight back. I want to see a little bit more aggression, and that's all I ask. That's what these players are brought in for. Lots of skill. Please, let's go, Leaf fans. Rowdy up the boys. Like I said, there's going to be fans in the stands again, chanting a whole bunch of this, chanting a whole bunch of that. And I just hope that we have a really fun, exciting hockey year in the NHL, especially for the Leaf fans out there that we need a good bounce back year, don't we, Archie?
We do. We definitely do. And you're right. I mean, I want to see that emotion too. I am tired of the bashing of Mitch Marner. I get it. People are still butthurt from the playoffs. I get it. Accountability is the number one thing. You said it best. That's what this team needs.
Yep.
We know Austin Matthews with a fucked up wrist did what he did last season. And my God, fucking guy better get 50 goals this season. I feel like he's flirting with that number, and there's always been something holding him back. Wrist injury or not, I honestly think this year he's gonna do it.
60, baby.
Even better, shoot higher. Absolutely. I want to see Mitch Marner have a stellar season. You're right. I want to see him break sticks when he's pissed off. I want to see these guys show the passion. I want to see them get angry. You have.
I want to see Mitch. You know what? I want to see Mitch Marner punch someone in the fucking face. Like, let's go. Seriously.
Hey, you never.
That's what I want to see.
He got married in the offseason, so
Yeah.
we saw that maturity level go up. Hopefully, and I honestly feel like this team is going to be. The expectations are not as high on paper.
Yeah.
But as Toronto fans, we know we always raise that bar every year, no matter what. And they've got a lot to play for this season, only because now it's like, okay, you know for a fact, Sheldon Keefe isn't going to sit there and be like, hey, man, if you guys fuck this up this year, I'm okay with sacrificing my job. You know he's going to be in the hot seat this year, regardless of what happens on the ice. This is Keefe's team. So he's going to have to pull this out of these guys. He's going to have to pull their performances to another level. Accountability, big thing. John Tavares, what he did with the guys, bringing them up to the cottage, great start. And I can't wait to see him back on the ice after that injury. I think he's going to have a great year for Toronto. I think he's going to really play at a next level capacity for himself. And with regards to the Leafs, actually, I just want to show something real quick here. People kind of made fun of it because it's like, oh, whatever, it's Leafs or bust, right? Because they're coming out with this documentary that's been Netflix has put together this documentary called All or Nothing. Everybody was saying, well, we definitely know they chose nothing. Obviously poking fun at the Leafs, but at the end of the day, it's you give it your best or you go home. That's the motto. Honor, pride, courage on the inside of their jerseys, all over the walls in their change room. They've got what it takes. This is, for anybody who's interested, October 1st. This is what you've got to look forward to. I'll share a little the trailer here for the documentary coming out. And just to kind of get things going, gave me chills watching this earlier. Let's see if it's got the same effect on you guys.
The leadership qualities and the personalities and the characteristics of these guys. I can't wait to see what unfolds in this docuseries. But you know what I mean? It's going to be cool to watch. But at the same time, we're going to know that this is the team that fucking let us down, man. And the high hopes were there. And I've never put so much of my belief and hopeful energy into one season of being a Leaf fan as I did last season. And that's why it was absolute heartbreak and totally embarrassing to fucking lose the way that they did last year and to who they lost to. And oh my God. Anyways, I can't wait for it to come out. I'm definitely going to watch it. I've heard a couple, there's been some management or some TV producers that have come out and I guess they've watched it and they put their reviews out and they said, listen, you're going to want to watch this documentary. It's very fucking well made and it's very good. So that being said, I can't wait to watch it. And yeah, obviously you're friggin' psyched to watch it and stoked, buddy. There's definitely a reason to be. We love anything Leafs, and especially when you got cameras in the background and you got background stuff going on. It's always nice to dig a little deeper into the personalities of the players that are representing your city and your team. So,
well, 100%. And let me tell you something. I don't know if you ever watched it at any point as a Leaf fan. You obviously would have been much younger at this point when it came out, but prior to this documentary, the only time something similar has been done of the Leafs with value was 92, 93. And it was a VHS cassette, which I still have. For anybody who
Okay.
doesn't know what a VHS cassette is, it's this big square tape that goes into a VCR, and you got to watch it. There's no high def, no nothing. But that is the last time the Leafs put together some sort of a video that gave you the chills, and it was called The Passion Returns. If anybody's out there, you could probably watch the whole thing on YouTube. You want chills, you watch that one. You got your Doug Gilmour, your Wendell Clark, Felix Potvin. You really see what that video is what really solidified me as a Leaf fan. And so I'm really looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to seeing how this and that kind of relate in any way. If you see that same spark and that same passion. And Wayne Simmons showed it. Face all beat up, and he says, when I put on this jersey, I'm playing for my community. Fucking right. Mm-hmm. You're playing for the logo, the crest that's on your chest. You're not playing for yourself. You're not playing for your contract, Mitch. You're playing for the team. This is who the Leafs want, or this is who the city wants to win a cup. At the end of the day, I don't care if it's Mitch Marner raising the cup. I don't care who's raising the cup. I just want it to be raised in Toronto so I can go to a fucking parade.
Yeah.
That's the parade I want to attend in Toronto, the fucking Stanley Cup parade.
You know what I want? I'll tell you this much. I want that parade, but I want to know what it feels like the second the buzzer goes off in a fucking game 6 or 7 of Stanley Cup Finals, when the Leafs are on the brink of that 4th win to solidify the fucking Stanley Cup and win. And I just don't know what kind of soul or spirit is going to fucking elevate out of my body. I don't know if I'm going to have like dry tears. I don't know if I'm going to have wet tears all over my face. I don't know if I'm going to throw up. I want to feel what that feels like, because the closest thing I've had with that was the Raptors winning and that 2015 Blue Jays run there with Bautista and fucking Tulowitzki and Encarnacion and Josh Donaldson. That's the closest I've had. But this, don't get me wrong, I am a Toronto sports guy. I love my sports. But listen, hockey is my passion. Hockey is something that I truly love. Like, if hockey wasn't in my life, hell, I don't even know what kind of life it would be, man. Would I want to live that life? I don't even know. Hockey takes over my life, and I love it. It's the passion that unites all me and a lot of the friends that I've grown up with. And hockey is more than just a sport to me. It is like a lifestyle. It's a culture. And living in Toronto, like I'm so happy and thankful, even though they break my heart every year and all this. But I am so happy and thankful that I am a Torontonian and I was raised here, and I get to watch the greatest hockey team in my heart anyway, lace up skates and put on jerseys for 7 months out of the 7 months out of the year. And I get to sit down with my family and my friends and my dad and watch these games and just fucking have a time. But that being said, the Leafs win a cup, man. I really don't know what's going to happen to me. You might have to find me with a defibrillator in the hospital. Like, I don't know. I might have to have one nearby. Like, if it's a few of my buddies hanging out, or my dad and his friends, I'm definitely going to have a defibrillator, man. Like, I'm going to have to learn how to use one of those things, man. My heart's going to come right out of my chest, man. My soul's going to leave my body. It's going to be an out-of-body experience. I don't even know what the hell is going to happen. But that being said, that needs to happen first. We need to get there. And as of right now, any hockey team will tell you, even a team that's projected to finish last place in the season, hey, the start of the season, the very first game, right now, you're 0-0. You can do anything. You could go to the Stanley Cup Finals this year, and that's the mentality that every fucking team is going to come into this season with. Fans are back. COVID-19's put a damper on the world. Lots of shit going on. Hockey is an escape. Hockey is what fucking unites us. It's the passion. It's a culture. Anyone who's hockey fans knows what I'm talking about. Obviously, if you're watching our podcast, you are a hockey fan, so you know what I'm talking about. But yes, let's go. I can't wait. Go Leafs, go with that. And let's see what happens, man. I'm just excited for some really good hockey and to see what unfolds this season. I think it's going to be a very magical and spectacular season.
And we've got one other thing coming this year. Sponsorships. So we were talking about it a little bit earlier. Jersey sponsors. Who do you think will be on Toronto's? They've been very tight-lipped, very, very quiet on it. I put together some suggestions. I thought maybe the logo that ends up appearing in Toronto, I'm thinking Ford Motor Company, Canadian Tire, Bell, Scotiabank. They might get greedy and just want their logos everywhere. TTC, Tim Hortons, Air Canada. Could they possibly make a reappearance? Did I not mention one? What do you think? Who do you think is going to show up on that Leafs jersey?
Let's get a good old Mr. Sub on there, man. Let's bring back Mr. Sub. I'm tired of Subway sandwiches. Jesus Christ, send that back out of here. Mr. Sub, come here, baby. I miss the assorted Mr. Sub. That's Canadian. Hey, Harvey's Canadian. I'm just going off with food right here, guys. I'm just fucking around. But anyways, whatever they put on, I think would be cool. Hey, I work for the Toronto Transit Commission. I'm TTC. That would be fucking awesome if they had the TTC on a jersey, man. I'm just putting it out there. Hey, it is one of North America's biggest subway systems and streetcar systems. So it's what moves the city, and that would be pretty cool. But like I said, who the hell knows, man? Like even Amazon, there's a few warehouses going up all over, and they're a pretty big company, up and coming company. I mean, they're already there, but they're just like expanding and growing and getting bigger and bigger. It's just crazy what Amazon is doing right now. But we'll see what happens, man. I'm open to whatever the logo is. I know that it's going to be weird to mark up our beautiful only 2-color shaded jersey, just like Detroit Red Wings are the only other 2-color shaded jersey in the NHL. We're going to mark it up. I just hope that when we do mark it up, it doesn't like really fucking distract you or take your eyes to it. It probably will, because we're used to the original, blue and white and blue. But we'll see what happens, buddy. Is there any symbol that you would want to see on it, like that you're hoping that is going to be there?
To be honest, I don't really care who it is. I hope it's a Canadian company. Just
of course, it's got to be. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I would really hope it's a Canadian company, even more so if it's a Toronto-based company. I mean, if they were still relevant, this would have been a great one for Jim Balsillie to put his BlackBerry logo on. Would have been pretty sick. Not gonna lie. But if they're gonna go with the logo of the brand staying to its true colors, I can't argue that I wouldn't mind seeing Ford Motor Company, because they're blue and white. It'll look sharp. They already have that on their practice jerseys. And it won't be an eyesore. Whereas if you get this crazy, like Scotiabank on the helmets last year, so puzzling, because they could have made it work a lot nicer on the blue helmet, the white logo, on the white helmet, the blue logo. Simple.
Yeah.
It should be based on the team's colors. Now I know they're going to say, branding, these companies are paying a lot of money for advertising. Well, and that's why you either go with a company that's got your matching team colors, or you sacrifice a little bit, because I honestly think it's there. It'll be visible. It'll be in this big white area here. So it'll be a visible logo regardless of the color. So I kind of hope they don't go with anything crazy and flashy that looks really ugly. I'm really curious to see what some of the other teams, like if I'm Dallas, like Xbox should be all over that because of the black and green kind of theme. It'll be really cool to see, like in Vegas, is there going to be you would assume it's going to be some sort of a casino sponsor or some shit, like it's going to be.
Yeah.
So it's going to generate a lot of money. We knew this was coming eventually. I'm happy they're doing it subtle, nothing huge, nothing major. I really hope we don't get into plastering the jerseys eventually.
Yeah, I know. I don't want it to look European like that either. Screw that.
Like I'd rather they sell the space that makes sense right now, such as this part of the shoulder.
Yeah.
On one of the legs of the pants. I'm okay with that. Using these, although I do prefer that these be that identifier of the team, like the Leafs kind of did with their reverse retros. They put the old school Leaf on there. I wish they would do that on their normal jerseys. I really, really wish they would do that. Or like Calgary having the Canada patch, solid, amazing. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be it'll be interesting to see how it does. It'll generate the revenue that the NHL lost. A lot of people were kind of up in arms saying the NHL didn't lose money. Come on, guys. All kidding aside, as rich as the league is, they lost a shit ton of fucking money.
Every league has lost money, 100%.
Yeah, like even the league in itself is one thing, but the teams have lost a huge amount of money in revenue when it comes to, because I mean, at the end of the day, concessions, booze, food, jerseys, merchandise, team stuff, ticket sales. You're losing a lot of money watching those empty seats get covered in, advertisement logos, which I'm sure they got some money for, but we're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars that they did not see for almost 2 seasons and 2 playoff runs for the teams that were in both playoffs. So you got to look at every team bled a lot. Now, I mean, it's not going to bankrupt some teams, but I can guarantee you some teams are looking pretty shitty and pretty scary right now when it comes to their books and finding out where this money's going to come from. Arizona, just saying. It'll be a great way for them to kind of regain that money. You mentioned earlier, Ontario government has approved 50% return to capacity to a max of 10,000. So that'll really impact Toronto and Ottawa in the NHL. Not sure what the other provinces are doing. The Jays, however, for their last homestand and their push for October ball, they got approved for 30,000, which is going to be amazing to see.
Of course.
Go Jays. I really hope they make this final run and then they find a way to make it to the wild card spot and hold on to it.
Absolutely.
Man, exciting. It is exciting. Nothing more exciting than October baseball. So as much as we're Leaf fans, I would love to see the Blue Jays back in there and making some noise. It's like they're the best, worst team in the league, which kind of sucks to know because so much talent, but they just took too long to find that groove.
Yeah. I mean, they have 4 All-Stars. You got Simeon, Vladdy Guerrero, Hernandez, and Bichette. And then on top of that, you have Robbie Ray, who's up for a Cy Young. You have Alec Manoah, who's been pitching lights out. Matz has been absolutely. I really hope the Jays make it, but we need the New York Yankees to fall. That's basically all we need. We need the Yankees to lose. And they had a similar situation as the Jays. I mean, the Jays haven't been playing well the last 3 games or so. And you'll remember about 3 weeks ago, a bad slide for the New York Yankees started. And prior to that slide, they won 13 in a row. Same kind of deal that Toronto's just had. So hopefully they bounce back way quicker. We get a win tonight. And October baseball would be fantastic. I don't know about any of you guys, but my favorite time of the year, you would think that it would be summertime. Everyone has their thing. Oh, I love Christmas time. I love Thanksgiving. I love summer. I love the warmness. My favorite time of year is fall. You know what fall brings? It brings decent long sleeve shirt, sweater weather. Okay. Nighttime, a little bit chillier. I like to sleep when it's a little bit chilly in my room so that I could cuddle up in my blanket. I just pass out like a little baby. Okay, so I love that. And then on top of that, sports. October baseball. You have NBA starting up. Hockey started up. You have NFL there. You have everything going on. If you're into soccer's still going on. It's just incredible what the fall brings. And then, like I just said, Thanksgiving, family gatherings, nice turkey dinner feast. Halloween comes along too. Dress up, have a friggin' bob for a couple of apples. Let's go here, man. I can't even wait. Good time October. Good time fall time. I love it.
Absolutely. So with that said, episode 1, season 3 wraps up. Welcome again to everybody who joined us. Thank you for joining us. We're hoping to bring you some interesting new material this season. Of course, pending regulations and all that fun shit. But either way, you got us here every Friday. Tomorrow night again, Leafs Montreal for a preseason game. Kind of get things going. Watch that if you can. If you can't, I'm sure there's somewhere you can stream it. Hit me up if you need something. I could probably hook you up. But yeah, other than that, unless Wade's got anything else for you guys, we'll definitely.
I actually have one more quick thing, Archie, and I'm going to ask your thoughts on it. Okay, so Arizona, they don't have a contract for, what is it, next season?
Yep.
This is their last season playing at the barn in Arizona. So they're finding a place to play. Arizona's numbers for fan attendance is shit, okay? They've been talking like Arizona's moving for a long time, okay? Who knows what's going to happen? That makes me happy as a Leafs fan because I've always been a little bit scared about Austin Matthews pulling the John Tavares card on us, and then, going back, I love Shane Doan and blah, 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 and I want to play for the Coyotes. Okay, so if they were to leave and not have renegotiate a new contract with some other place in Arizona, I mean, that would. Don't get me wrong. I don't have anything against Arizona. The only thing I have against them is Austin Matthews. But that being said, I do think that their jersey's really cool. You know why, Archie? Because they're using that old logo once again, which is actually like low key one of my favorite logos in the NHL. I just love that that half like skull and then the moon and whatever coyote, that new coyote or the retro coyote thing. They're using that this year. What are your thoughts on that?
So
on on all Arizona Coyotes, what are your thoughts on everything? The jersey, the arena, not negotiating contracts or renewing everything.
So I like that they're going back with the old logo.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's that they brought the reverse retro jersey into play and their original logo. Cool. Kind of bittersweet for them because it almost looks as though that's how they said hello to the NHL, and maybe this is how they're going to say goodbye to the NHL.
Yeah.
Glendale, Arizona is no more after this season, and it was. I feel like I would love to see their financials because I guarantee you they've been just bleeding money. So what that does to that team, what that does to Arizona, I don't know. Like, I really don't know what to expect there. You're right about Austin Matthews. I'm definitely happy to know that takes away one bit of pressure off of there because, he won't want to go to a team that doesn't exist in the NHL.
Exactly.
That being said, if we're looking at a potential
new franchise,
relocation, I don't know that. I feel like Seattle was kind of like the team that Gary Bettman really wanted more than anything, and he got it. They're here. We'll see how they do this year, but they're here. For the sake of, if I had to place this team somewhere, and I had a choice as to where I would put them, I'm just going to put up one thing here.
I got the drum roll going for you, buddy.
I'm going to put up one thing here because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who are going to agree with this.
Okay. Yup.
Bring back the Quebec Nordiques.
Yes, please.
Let's go.
I would be so fucking down for Quebec to have the Nordiques back. Are you kidding me? Another Canadian team, another rivalry, the Montreal Canadiens rivalry with them, the Quebec rivalry, and then Ottawa and oh my God, the East would be fucking so much fun to watch. I would watch like an Ottawa and Quebec game. You know what I mean? I would watch a Montreal and Quebec game, the Battle of Quebec. I think it would be really cool, man. So I would really hope that something like that comes through. Yeah, I'm on board. What about the Hartford Whalers? Woo!
Dude, yeah, the Hartford Whalers would be a big one. It's funny you mentioned it. The biggest rivalry. I remember I got to see these guys play growing up. And let me tell you, I don't know that there is an NHL rivalry anywhere that could possibly come close to comparing to this. Montreal, Quebec, the Good Friday Massacre. This was an absolute shit show of a game.
Yep.
And man, the rivalry between these two teams is next level. Like, there is nothing that can compare. I want this so bad. Like, and I'm pretty sure Montreal wants this so bad. They want bad.
I'm pretty sure all of Canada wants this so bad. It's maybe the Americans that would be like, no, we have 52 states. Like, let's fucking get, 52 hockey teams or whatever. But let's get real here, man. Canada is dying for another hockey team, man. We were happy and very fucking happy to get Winnipeg back when they did come back from the Atlanta Thrashers, right? But to get Quebec back, to have 8 NHL teams in Canada, I think it puts it at the even number. It gives the East, you look at the West, you got Winnipeg, you got Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver. Then you kind of look at the East and you really just have the Leafs, Ottawa, and Montreal. You know what I mean? So it would be so cool to just throw Quebec in there. It would just make extra fireworks for everything. That's just my opinion.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but I would love it. I would love Quebec to get that team back, or Hartford. Mainly Quebec, though.
Absolutely, yes. Canadian, keep it in Canada for once, man. Gary Bettman, what are you doing? Like, throw us a bone here, for fuck's sakes.
Absolutely. All right. So with that said, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for Season 3, Episode 2. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to being back with you guys next week. We'll let you go with some shows if you're interested in watching anything else that we've got to offer there. Take it easy, guys, and we'll see you next week.
You West the competition, bring on the competition. We need some competition, y'all ain't no competition. It's time to ball, yeah, shout it, time to brawl. Cause see, we bout to stomp y'all from the jump ball. Me worried not at all, your team is gonna fall. Hope you learn something from it, cause we schooling all